the world was shocked by Michael Jackson's death, and the investigative journalist who's covered Michael for almost 2 decades has the latest on the criminal investigation and the Jackson family. Please welcome author of Be Careful Who You Love Inside the Michael Jackson Case, Diane Dimond. Hi, Diane. Michael has his 3 kids. Let's start with him. He's got Prince, who's 13, Paris, 12, who we saw, and Blanket, 8. Now, they've been living with their grandmother, Catherine Jackson. How have they been doing so far?
Well, all the sources I have within the family say they're doing as well as can be expected. They know Catherine, they love her, that's their grandma. The bigger problem they have is assimilating with the rest of the family, because Michael kept his family at bay. He didn't want his brothers around with their hands out asking for money, and his sisters have their own lives. So I think they're doing well. They're going to go to private school rather than...
They were very sheltered kids. They had veils. They didn't mingle with other kids. I mean, what about that part? Are they able to mingle with other kids?
Well, now they are, because they have a lot of cousins and whatnot, and they are going to go to a private school coming up rather than be homeschooled. So I think it'll be better for them. But look at that. I mean this is how they were raised, with their heads covered, and everything was mysterious and intriguing.
Right.
And
it's not only assimilating back into, you know, life after your loss of a parent, but assimilating into a broader society that you've been so sheltered from.
We saw child protection services or child protection people come to the house. What happened with that?
A couple of times. Well, you know, it's a very visible case. They want to make sure everything's fine. But the last time, one of the cousins, one of Jermaine's sons, had ordered a stun gun through the mail. Thought that would be a fun toy to play with, and there was a little incident. And I think Child Protective Services came and said to Catherine Jackson, who, by the way, is 80 years old, bless her heart, with all these kids living in the house, you need to pare down the number of people who live in this house. So I believe the cousins and their mother, Alejandra, who has children by both Randy and Jermaine, she was married to both brothers, is going to be moving out soon, if she hasn't already moved out with the kids.
Who's the one with the stun gun? What idiot brought that in?
Well, they make these home movies, and he thought it would be a good prop to use.
And they just can get that through the mail. That's weird.
Yeah, they can get a lot of things through the mail, right? You know, arguably, Michael might be worth more money dead than alive. And
it's not, no argument.
You talk about having the handout, though. How much money are we talking? How much is his estate worth? How much are the kids set to receive or set aside for them?
Right. He was about $500 million in debt when he died, when he decided to go on this big concert tour. Which I think would have been a great success. But now, since his death, his estate is worth close to $1 billion.
Because of this concert?
Well, no, because the concerts never happened, but the movie, This Is It, made a lot.
And his image, what about his image? Will make a fortune.
Exactly.
Now, is there anything like legality-wise, like, because you seem to think that Michael Jackson isn't their father. Why? I mean, would they still be entitled to all of this?
Yes. The will is very, very clear. The money goes to Mama Catherine and the 3 children. There were a little bit of bequeathments to some of the nieces and nephews, but his dad, Joe Jackson, gets nothing. His brothers get nothing. His sisters get nothing.
So when his mother passes away, what happens then?
What happens to the kids?
That's the $64,000 question, Joy. And I think what will happen is the oldest Jackson, Rebe, will step in. She has the most reliable life. She's married to the same man for 35 years, Nate. They're Jehovah's Witness. They're very ensconced as a family. So I think she'll probably step in.
Wow. Now, you know, we just talked about this a few days ago. His Michael Jackson's spiritual advisor came out and said that his high-pitched voice was fake, that he has a voice like Barry White.
Well,
is that true?
It's not quite like Barry White, but at the criminal trial, when I covered the trial, Jackson and I had a little moment outside in the courtyard one day, and he didn't like me. I had covered him for so long, and he sort of growled at me in a big voice and gave me a slash across the throat and get out like that. And I was stunned at how deep his voice really was. But it wasn't quite Barry White.
So what do you think? Do you think that, you know, I'm a lover, not a fighter? Was that put on?
Yes, I think so. Look, his father drummed into all those boys. Jermaine speaks the same way. So does Randy.
They all have very soft voices.
Well, when you've got this father that's so abusive, it's going to make you small. It's going to make you very small.
Do what I say, and I'll make you a star. And they were the biggest stars when they were children, when they all talk like this. So they all still talk like this.
So it's a way of preserving that, maybe. You know, a judge recently ruled that Michael's doctor, Conrad Murray, could keep his medical license, even though he's soon going to be on trial for Michael's death. I don't understand how this can happen, why it happened. Can you expand on that?
Me either.
It just doesn't seem to make any sense that he could still legally practice.
Yeah, he has practices in Texas, California, and Las Vegas. And somebody recently tried to take his license away, and the judge said no, because then he won't be able to make a living and try to save his house that he's almost losing in Las Vegas. And he has all these children by all these women that he owes all this child support to.
Does he have patients? I mean, who is going to see him at this point?
No,
I mean, really?
he does, and he has very loyal patients. It's interesting, Elizabeth.
They won't stop coming to him.
No,
They-
they really like him.
I think it's very interesting. This family has had so much money, but you believe that Michael's brothers, Marlon, Jackie, and Tito, are the worst off. Why is that?
Well, Tito has begun to get a lot of gigs. You know, he still plays guitar, and he plays at casinos and nightclubs and whatnot. But there was a time when Marlon and Jackie, and even Tito, were working in grocery stores and body shops.
Really?
In and
I mean,
around
after
California.
all of the hits?
What happened
and
to all the money from the Jackson 5 and all that?
Around what years were they doing that?
Oh, just recently. I mean, at 2005, during the criminal trial, I learned that some of them, there's too many Jacksons. I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah.
But Tito was working in a body shop, and I think it was Marlon who was working in a grocery store. And Jackie lives with a girlfriend and is trying to get his son into the rap business.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah,
Well,
they
Diane,
didn't save their pennies. That's the bottom line.
thank you so much for coming in
Thank you,
and
Diane.
sharing this with us. Our thanks to Diane Dimond.